Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? Well, guys, there has been another state of emergency declared, but this time it's New Mexico. The governor said that after witnessing crises in Rio Arriba County, Washington, she has declared state of emergency, requested that the National Guard deployment on August 13th, 2025, due to surging crime, fent ODs among women and children, family instability, and rampant homelessness. So she witnessed what was going on in Washington, D.C., and she wants it in her state of New Mexico. Despite increased policing and the substances flooding in, this declaration, which covers the city of Espanola and surrounding areas, including 2 Native American Pueblo communities, was prompted by local and tribal leaders' requests for state assistance due to the overwhelming local resources. So this proves positive that our president's cleaning up of crimes in DC is working, and this needs to happen in the higher crime areas of each state to help clean up America.
We got some breaking news coming in from the Democratic governor of New Mexico that only after 2 days, that what she has now witnessed over in Washington, she has now declared a state of emergency and wants the same treatment over for her state, and requesting now to send the National Guard in. This governor now is coming out and waving the white flag and saying because of the increase of all this criminal activity, that families are becoming unstable, women and children are overdosing on fentanyl, and homelessness is beyond repair, and it's rising to a level of expectation that they never saw. And even with the increase of the police in their community, that they can't stop the drugs pouring in, and that the overdose rate is absolutely through the roof, as many people are losing their lives. Now I'm going to tell to the governor that we are very forgiving people, and we don't hold grudges over here at the Republican Party. And let me be the very first one to say of how proud I am of you, that you are actually putting the safety of your people first before the disagreements and maybe the frustration with the President of the United States of America, Donald Trump. What this governor is saying, and the message that I always preach, is that humanity will always come before politics. We don't ask who you are or where you're from. We just ask you, are you a mommy? Are you a daddy? Are you a child? Are you hurting? What can we do to help? And the clear message that this governor is putting out is that my people will come first. And we denounce anybody from the Democratic Party putting the hatred for Donald Trump first before the safety of their own people. Governor, don't you worry, but it's not only New Mexico that needs help. It's also Philadelphia, it's also Chicago, it's also Los Angeles and New York. Every Democratic city that has been run in turmoil over, including Colorado over there, we're coming to help. And to every other citizen in the United States of America, if you think that your city, your state needs help, drop it down in the comments, and I'll make sure the first one to see this post is the President of the United States of America. Whether you're liberal, Republican, Democrat, or independent, we've got your back. Because again, I want to remind you that politics will always come second. Humanity will always reign and be our top priority and always come first.
Go over the key reasons and the key facts. So the reason for the declaration, like I said, the governor has cited dramatic increase in violent crime, particularly linked to trafficking, with Rio Arriba County experiencing the highest of OD rates in New Mexico and among the highest in the nation. Police calls in Espanola have doubled over the past 2 years, and dispatches to businesses have quadrupled, indicating a severe strain on local law enforcement. And the crisis has also contributed to increase of homelessness, family instability, and fatal ODs, particularly involving fent. the context of the substance crisis, Rio Arriba County has been grappling with severe opioid crises, with fent and alcohol abuse exacerbating public safety issues. The Santa Clara Pueblo's tribal governor, James Naranjo, highlighted the impact on children and the broader community, noting that the Pueblo has spent thousands of dollars addressing these crises, and recent deaths, including that of the Rio Arriba County Sheriff Billy Merrifield, have been linked to fent and alcohol use. So local and tribal support, the local leaders, including Espanola County Councilor Sam Ledoux, Ledaux, and tribal officials have welcomed the declaration as a step toward addressing the rampant crime and substance issues. However, some Republican leaders, like New Mexico GOP Chair Amy Barella, have called for more comprehensive solutions to address the root causes of the crime, criticizing past state policies as ineffective. So, unlike previous state of emergency declared in April 2025 for Albuquerque, where 60 to 70 National Guard troops were deployed to assist with non-law enforcement duties like scene control, medical support, prisoner transport, and drone surveillance, there have been no immediate calls for Guard deployment in Rio Arriba County. However, the option remains open under the current emergency declaration. In April 2025, Governor Lujan, Lujan Grisham, deployed the National Guard to Albuquerque to address a surge in juvenile crime and the fent crisis. The Guard's role was supportive, focusing on tasks like traffic control, crime scene security, to free up police officers for proactive patrols. The deployment was described as a pilot program by Albuquerque Mayor Tim Keller and was met with mixed reactions, with the ACLU of New Mexico raising concerns about potential civil rights violations. But local officials, including those from Espanola and tribal communities, have expressed relief at the state's intervention, viewing it as a necessary response to a crisis that has overwhelmed local resources. This is the second state of emergency declared by the Governor Grisham in 2025, following the Albuquerque declaration in April. In 2023, she also issued a controversial executive order suspending the right to carry guns in public parks and playgrounds in Albuquerque in response to child fatalities from incidents. The declaration comes amid heightened national attention to crime in urban and rural areas. Some social media posts reference President Trump's actions in Washington, D.C., suggesting a parallel in addressing crime, though the situations differ significantly in scope and also in context. The crisis in Rio Arriba County is tied to broader social issues, including homelessness, family instability, and the opioid epidemic, which have placed significant pressure on local governments and tribal communities as well. So while the state of emergency and potential National Guard deployment aim to address immediate public safety concerns, they might not tackle the underlying causes of the crises, such as addiction, poverty, and systemic resource shortages. The reliance on emergency measures and military support could be seen as a reactive approach. And even though with the critics, including the ACLU, they argue that such actions risk escalating tensions or infringing on civil liberties without addressing root issues. I think that this needs to be done because if the tribal leaders, and the governor thinks that this needs to be done, I would listen. I would, because they're the ones that are boots on the ground, especially if the tribal leaders are saying, listen, we really need help, then I would listen. okay? Because they're the ones that are going to see this stuff first, not necessarily, you know, I mean, why don't they talk to the police officers? If the police officers say that yes, they need help, talk to the, well, they lost the sheriff. The sheriff passed away due to substance. So I would talk to the police officers and the boots on the ground. And obviously the tribal leaders are the boots on the ground there too. So if they're saying yes, they need help, send them in. That's all I have to say. You know what I mean? But as for anything else, I don't live there. So if anybody here lives there, let me know what's really going on. Okay? All right, guys, I am out of here. I will see you in the next one. You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping. And as always, fear less and God bless. Ciao.